And welcome back to the Midday Show. We're going to see if we fixed it, if John Mackey's ready to go with Quizzo today. Here we go, John. Here's the moment of truth. I'm going to unmute you. We're going to see what happens. John, how are you doing today?
Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Mark, are we good?
Yep, we're good. All I have to do is listen to John say that is the correct answer, because that's all we give here.
You guys killed it last week.
Yeah, we crushed it.
Well, here's what happened. For you that didn't watch, we went 5 for 5 last week in a total team effort. Like, there were one we kind of collaborated, but there was ones I had no idea that Jeff knew. He had no idea that I knew. So I'm expecting questions today to start in the phrase of, like, tell the answer in the original Greek form of the word and things like that. Mackey is back with a vengeance today, I can tell.
We'll see. We'll see.
All right, what do you got for us, Mackey?
We're going to do Mackey first, by the way. Welcome into the Midday Show. We're going to do Mackey first because he's got prior arrangements. So we've juggled the schedule. We're coming with trivia right out of the gate. And then if we do terribly, we'll just close the show and never come back.
Wanted to get this out of the way before your sound cut out again. So, all right, here we go. I'm going to get you with the first question here. Number one, the McDonald triad is a psychiatric theory that examines 3 specific behaviors in potential future what?
Wow.
So the McDonald triad is a psychiatric theory that examines 3 specific behaviors. We can talk about those in a minute after you answer. In potential future what?
Personally, I have never heard of the McDonald triad.
My guess... well, let's just examine this. The 3 specific behaviors, is that like executive, legislative, and judicial? Are those the 3?
No, these are like behaviors that people exude. Yes.
In the potential, I will be honest, and this is the vengeance I was talking about. I don't even really understand the question. The McDonald triad is a psychiatric theory that examines 3 specific behaviors in the potential future what?
I mean, if it's something, could it just be potential future success? Or intelligence?
I have no guess.
I would go with success or intelligence. Let's say intelligence.
Well, that would be incorrect. Mark, you are right. I'm dropping the hammer today on you guys. I will tell you the 3 specific behaviors are these. They are bedwetting, setting things on fire, and cruelty to animals. These are the 3 things for potential future serial offenders and or killers. These are three behaviors that most serial killers display.
I'm kind of mad at myself.
If you know anybody,
I'm kind of mad at myself because I watched Mindhunter on Netflix, and I feel like I should have known this.
So wait, most serial killers were bedwetters?
They also like to set things on fire, and they're also cruel to animals. This is kind of a across-the-board thing. So if you know somebody that does these 3 things consistently, you might want to keep an eye on them.
So it's like Sid from Toy Story.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Exactly. Sid was a bedwetter. That's what I've learned today. All right.
Next question. Before he became a sheriff, Wyatt Earp operated a business called the Beardstown Gunboat in Peoria, Illinois. What kind of business was it? Before he became a sheriff, Wyatt Earp operated a business called the Beardstown Gunboat in Peoria. What kind of a business was it?
I have a guess.
Enlighten me.
I was going to say a brothel because it's ironic.
I'm not against it. I lived in a brothel.
What? Hey, hold on. Let's expound on that.
Show right there.
Wait, what?
Not just, it was, now listen, it wasn't operating, but the building used to be a brothel back in the day.
When you were in college?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It was right next to the old, the Fallon in Lock Haven. Used to be a brothel.
That's interesting. When you tell the story, leave out the part that wasn't functioning anymore. Just tell people, yeah, I lived in a
better story that way. I do not have a guess. I feel like I'm a little too young for this question.
I mean, the only thing, before he became a sheriff, I mean, it could have been a saloon. I mean, that sounds too typical, I think, because what other businesses were there? And I know, like, why I would say a brothel, just because I'm going with the irony.
Okay, well, you would be correct, Mark. It was a brothel.
Wow, what a guess.
There we go.
Look at that.
Look at you carrying us.
You know why I know that? I'll be totally honest with you. I used to live in the Beardstown Gunboat in Peoria back when I was younger.
Just trying to one up my story.
All right, question 3. In what pro sport will you find teams called the Atlanta Hustle, the New York Empire, and the Philadelphia Phoenix, just to name a few? In what pro sport, which means people play this and get paid for it, will you find teams called the Atlanta Hustle, the New York Empire, and the Philadelphia Phoenix?
Do you know?
You don't. I take it. My first guess. What the WNBA? It's the New York Liberty, right? It's not the WNBA.
It should not be the WNBA.
I was professional lacrosse was one I was thinking, because lacrosse is big on the East Coast. The other one, this is a stupid answer, was roller derby is one I was thinking of. Is there a professional roller derby league?
I have a stupider answer. I was going to say the lingerie football league.
Oh,
but I feel like they'd have like sassier nicknames.
You know what? I don't like roller derby. That's one that popped into my mind. But so what with the lingerie football league of lacrosse?
I like the lacrosse guess. I like all the guesses. There's not one that you go with that I'd be upset with.
All right, let's go with lacrosse, but I'm afraid that you are right with your lingerie. But we're gonna go with lacrosse.
Okay, you guys are both wrong. It's ultimate frisbee.
Oh, jeez.
That's taking off. Have you seen some of the highlights for that stuff?
No.
Some of the catches, it's insane what some of these guys do.
Ultimate. That's one when you're in school and you grind and grind and grind over an answer, and then you realize you're not even close anyway.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, well, I just wasted. That's brain waves I'm never getting back that I just blew.
Look up the highlights. You would like the highlights.
Ultimate frisbee, huh?
All right. 4th question.
Well, here, before we get too much further, let's take an intermission here at the middle. Give your schedule. Where are you going to be? Plug yourself.
Yeah, it's Tuesday. That means one thing only: the Bullfrog Brewery tonight in Williamsport at 8:30. Tomorrow we've got 3 options for you to play Quizzo. One of them is in Mifflinburg at the Rusty Rail. That's at 6:30. Kimball's in Williamsport at 8 o'clock. The Brickyard also in Williamsport at 9. Thursdays we are at the Town Tavern in Lewisburg at 7 p.m. And obviously, I'm available for Zoom Quizzo if anybody would like to seek me out for that as well.
Now that the world is, opening again, how are crowds? Are crowds coming back?
It's touch and go. It's hit and miss. Some nights are good, some nights are bad. I really am anticipating things going back to a real version of normal here at the end of the month when we open things up full speed. But we'll see, but I think the more people get vaccinated, the more people are willing to come out. So.
All right. Round 3.
We're on question 4 here.
Yes.
Pantone 364C is a shade of green typically associated with what company? Pantone 364C is a shade of green typically associated with what company?
Okay. When I think of green, I had 2 things that came to mind.
I have one.
What is it?
John Deere.
That was the first thing that came to my mind. The second thing, it's not real company, is like Army Green.
Oh.
But it's not
it wouldn't. You wouldn't associate Army with a company. I mean, like John Deere Green is almost is it trademarked? It's.
You would think.
I can't think of a better guess than John Deere.
I like the John Deere guess. That was the first thing that came to my mind.
All right. Yeah, you guys got it. John Deere.
Good guess.
Don't ever second guess yourself. If it's the first
Look at us.
Good thing you said company, because otherwise Army would have been very tempting.
Look at us.
I think you guys are ready to come down to the Bullfrog tonight and play some Quizzo.
This is one of the things we were thinking. We shouldn't say this on the air. We were thinking about on a Wednesday hitting all 3 spots and just crushing people in all over county, multiple counties, multiple locations. That's what we were going to do.
That's where, hey, you could give it a shot.
Whoops. All right, last question.
Hey, this is it. Question 5. This is the fancier sounding 13-letter C name for a filet mignon. This is the fancier sounding 13-letter C name for a filet mignon. So I already given you 1 letter, which means you need to come up with 12 more to get the answer.
I'll be honest with you. I thought filet mignon sounded pretty fancy to begin with. I didn't know you could get fancier than filet mignon. Jeff, I'm gonna guess.
I'm trying to think of something that would have to do with like something. Like it has something to do with the cut, but I don't know if that would make sense or not. Filet mignon.
I'm trying to think of something funny and I can't. Cheeseburger? How many letters is a cheeseburger?
Bleu. Cordon bleu, that's fancy.
That's French, isn't it? That's not it though.
No, I honestly, I can't even come up with a guess. That's a good one. I've never heard it. Like he said, I always thought filet mignon was the fancier saying.
Yeah, we concede. We throw ourselves at the mercy of the court.
The answer is Chateaubriand.
I've heard of that. I kind of thought it was a drink.
Briand. Chateaubriand.
Huh. I wouldn't have gotten that one.
You guys went 2 for 5 today. Not terrible. Brothel, John Deere. You guys know your brothels and your lawn mowing equipment.
And our farm equipment. There's a real man right there. Yeah. That's a real man. That's what we are. When people think of real men, they think of Jeff and I. And we are the first 2 that come to their mind.
Hey, I appreciate you bumping me up in the order, guys.
What'd you say?
I said I appreciate you bumping me up in the order.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, but I don't mean to like be the bearer of bad news, but now you realize we do so much better when we can't hear you, so you might be muted from here on out.
Okay, all right.
We'll discuss that in a production meeting.
Voting day. I know you guys are going to be talking about it. Don't forget.
We're going to talk about that coming up. Yes.
Very important.
All right.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it. Hey, have a good one, man. We'll see you soon.
See ya.
All right. That was struggle bust. We struggled.
Listen, that was like 400 level graduate courses. He brought it. He really brought it.
You did say, like, to your credit, you said from here on out, like, he's going to try to bring it. Like, there will be no more softballs. There will be no more easy ones.
And maybe I thought the John Deere one was easy. But that was the only one.
Yeah, but did you know the John Deere one?
No,
right.
That was when you say green, like what company is green? It's John Deere.
Yes. There was I just saw this too, like speaking of colors. Have you seen like the whole Disney color thing going around? Disney has a color that is literally called I think it's called invisible blue or invisible green. And what they do is like they're big structure buildings. So the buildings that aren't rides or themed or anything like that, they paint it this one specific color because it helps it blend in. Like it almost makes it invisible in the background. Okay. And so this one color, people have like caught onto it and now they're using it to like hide things, monstrosities that they don't want people to see like in their backyard or like huge complexes. Yeah. But Disney like developed it. It's like this invisible blue or invisible green. And it just blends into like your natural background.
That's fascinating.
It's really neat. It's been going around lately. We saw it. Local elections. Go ahead and hit some people up.
Well, I just wanted to mention, as we talked about today, and John just kind of led us into it, local elections. There is no time where your vote matters more than in the local primaries because so fewer people come out. There are a lot of places, or a lot of these ballots are just to get on the primary for the real election in November, but there are some real positions that are going to be decided today. I want a sheriff here in Lycoming County. There's also constitutional things that you get to vote on. But in a lot of cases, when you have people that are running for these things come that are just trying to get on the ballot come the fall, you can write in on the other side, depending if the person's a Republican, you can write in as a Democrat or whatever. And then the person actually is on both sides of the ticket come election time. So you can, like for city councilmen or for mayor or for school boards or for things like that, you can actually get one candidate on both sides of the election if they get enough write-in votes in the primary. So, when you go vote for president and there's 150 million votes, I mean, you should still vote, but your vote counts this much. On the local basis, some of these are depending on what it is, especially like school board districts, and depending on how big your community is, like there's less than 100 on each side. So your vote can really, really carry some weight today. So don't think that it's meaningless and this is a day to skip. You should certainly get out and vote. You should vote every time, but your vote carries more weight today than ever.
Yeah, nice. That was good.
Thank you.
Almost like you had it prepped. That was legit. Let's skip to the wheel, what everyone's waiting for.
All right. Well, thank you to Weis Markets for sponsoring our show every day and for putting prizes on the wheel. We have a $25 gift card, a $50 gift card, a $100 gift card. Weis Markets, your place for all kinds of things. You can't vote there, though. You can't vote. You have to go to your polling place. But anyway, so thank you to Weis Markets. And we also have other sponsors on the board. We have the Moon and Raven. We have Eat and Run Catering. And we have the Break Room. And so to get entered, join the Midday Show group. We keep growing every day. But join the Midday Show group, and then the computer will spit out a name, and you'll win a T-shirt that's coming sooner or later. And then you get a chance to win something on the wheel. And we'll do that right now as soon as Jeff tells us who the computer said.
All right. And today's random winner from the Facebook group, The Midday Show, is... Oh, my God. Travis Heap.
Travis Heap, former Montoursville grad, former athlete himself, and then a very successful girls basketball coach. I think he's coaching at Penn College still now, isn't he?
He's the assistant at Penn College. So congratulations to Travis. Despite our reactions, we are happy for you. And hopefully Mark, I'm happy for you. Mark,
if I hit something, I'm not sure I'm happy.
Mark, we'll find out if Mark's happy for you, not here in a second.
Very good X's and O's basketball coach, actually. I like Travis.
Yeah.
Like my daughter played up until, when did he stop? I don't know, but he's young. He's younger than you, right?
I think so.
Is he probably 30? He was like in his late 20s when he was coaching. The one year they went like 25-3. No, they were really talented, but
yeah.
he was very good X's and O's coach.
Yeah.
I thought he did a good job.
Nice.
So, and we didn't fire him. He moved on to greener pastures. It wasn't like, sometimes good coaches get let go, and that was not the case. So, but all that being said, I hope he loses. Are we ready?
We're ready.
I want him. I almost won him $100. Travis, you were this close to a $100 gift card, and you could have bought your wife all those nice things for $100. You could have bought her $100 worth of flowers at Weis Markets, but no. Now you don't. So
pretty close.
Funny.
We're just chattering now, but one of the things that we had brought up, the NBA playoffs had changed their standings and basically the way that they do their playoff format. Pretty exciting, the way they're going to do it. I don't know how much of a purpose it really serves, but they got lucky this year because LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers slid all the way down to 7, and they are going to play the Golden State Warriors and Stephen Curry at number 8. So we do get like this one game, almost sudden death type of matchup. But it's a neat format, and you said that you were kind of excited about it. Like you thought it was unique.
Well, I am. I didn't even know this is how they did it until you explained it to me.
Yeah.
So usually it used to be for all these years, the top 8 teams made it. That's how it was in the NBA. That's how it was in hockey. Well, the NBA has kind of tweaked it a little bit. Now the top 10 teams make it. But what they do is if you're 1 through 6, you're automatically in. 7 and 8, 9 and 10 kind of have their own little play-in tournament. Just to add a little more intrigue to the first round and where they get started. But the way they do it is very clever. 7 plays 8.
Yes.
And 9 play 10.
Yes.
And that's not how tournaments usually work. It would be 7, 10, 8, 9. 7 plays 8. The winner of that is in.
Yes.
The loser of that plays the winner of the 9-10 game. So basically, if you are the 7 or the 8 seed, in the old days, you would have automatically got in.
Yes.
Now you have to win either the first game you play or the second game you play, and then you're in.
Correct.
If you are the 9-10, back in the old days, you would have never got in. Now they're giving you a chance, but you have to win the 9-10 game, and then you have to win against the loser of the 7-8 game. So you have to go 2 for 2 to sneak your way into the playoffs. Does it matter at the end of the day? No, because the 7 and the 8s and the 9s and the 10s ain't winning the title. Even though this year we got LeBron and Steph Curry down there who are playing for it, they ain't winning any titles. But it just adds intrigue because you get the one and done format, the March Madness format, if you will, the NFL playoff format, where you kind of got to watch when whoever loses tonight between Steph and LeBron. And it's tonight, right? Or is it tomorrow?
No, it's Wednesday is LeBron and Steph.
All right, it's tomorrow. So whoever loses, then they'll have one more where they win or go home. Right. And so it adds that immediacy, which is one of the drawbacks of best of 7 series in any sport, baseball, hockey, basketball, whatever. The one and done format adds urgency and like it is must-see TV. And I think I think the NBA did a really good thing here.
Yeah, they got lucky, but they could end up shooting themselves in the foot a little bit here because, as I was explaining, like talking about with you, they're lucky because I think this isn't a long-term solution. Like, I think long-term, most years, they're going to realize that this is a wash. The Eastern side, 7 through 10, there's not a team above 500 playing in these play-in games. So to your point, there is no long-term effect on the playoffs. Regardless of who wins in the Eastern Conference playing games, they are going to get walloped in the first round by either the Nets or the Sixers. It's a wash. The Western Conference, and where they got lucky but also could shoot themselves in the foot, to get LeBron and Stephen Curry in almost like a sudden death game is like no one's like that's all any sports fan's going to watch Wednesday night. And they're going to watch it. Like no one's not going to have it on their TV to see it. The downside is if the Lakers or Warriors, whichever one loses, you now put yourself in a position, if you're the NBA, where you could lose them for a whole first-round series. So instead of people tuning in to get to watch Stephen Curry for 4 more games or LeBron James for 4 more games, you now have a chance where possibly they don't make the playoffs at all, and you're stuck with like the Spurs or Grizzlies playing some meaningless play-in round. So it's a catch-22. Assuming it works out for them, the Lakers or Warriors will win the first game, and then whoever loses will win the second game, and it's a complete success for them. I just don't think this will happen every year. I think most years it will end up being like the Eastern Conference, where you just have 4 meaningless teams fighting it out to just get walloped by the first and second seed a week from now.
But I think because they're going to get walloped anyway, but you're not going to sit down and watch a 7 seed versus a 2 seed unless you're a basketball junkie. Watching the first round is a total waste of time because it doesn't matter unless you think the 4 or 5 is a balanced series. And then if you do that, but the 4 and 5 ain't ever winning the title anyway. So I think it just gets people to be like, hey, I'm going to watch an NBA playoff game. And it kind of, at the beginning of it, it piques your interest. You get the habit started, and then people start following it. And I think it's a really good idea.
They were lucky this year with the whole LeBron Steph thing because this is a weird year where you could have the Lakers or the Warriors could knock off the Suns or the Jazz, assuming they win one of the 2 play-in games. So it's a weird year where it does kind of matter who wins these play-in games. Because I think most years, like you had said earlier, I don't think it's going to matter who wins them, but this year they got lucky.
No, and I agree with that. But I loved the wild card format. I know baseball has tweaked. I don't even know what the baseball format is now that they were away from COVID. But when they had 2 wild card teams and it was just best of 1, go at it and play, you could invest 9 innings.
Yeah.
When you start looking at a best of 5, a best of 7, that's a lot of investment if you want to follow the whole series. But to watch one game, LeBron, and whoever loses, listen, I'm more curious about the Friday night game for whoever loses than I am about the LeBron because there's a buffer here. The winner moves on, the loser still has life. It's the Friday night. It's going to be do or die for either LeBron or Steph. And that is going to be exciting.
Yes. I mean, their best case scenario is Stephen Curry puts on a show Wednesday night. The Warriors kind of upset the Lakers. And now LeBron has to play on Friday night in a one and done to make the playoffs. And that would be, the NBA would be so happy if that happened.
Absolutely.
That would just be, and then we may never get rid of this. Like this, the play-in game, because they'll just be like, oh, it was such a success. My fear is just like 3 years from now, we're going to look back at this first year and it's going to be an anomaly. This may never happen again.
Well, yes, but they'll be good enough players. There'll be somebody that's, Russell Westbrook on, there'll be a superstar-ish on one of these 7 seeds that makes it worth watching. But I think it's just to get people like, hey, I'll watch it. Let's go out and watch an NBA game tonight. Because for one night, we can spend 2 hours and 15 minutes and we saw the whole series.
Right.
And that is cool because each possession matters. Each foul call matters. Was it a block charge? This could change things. So, yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think it's cool. And if there is success, the problem for LeBron is they may schedule him in the play-in tournament just like they schedule him on Christmas. They may be like, listen, LeBron, I don't care how well your team does. The best you're finishing is 7th.
I think they, in a weird way, I think they hit a home run with it this year, but I think it's fool's gold. And I think you can just look at the other side of the conference to realize that. Like there is no reason to watch these Eastern Conference playing games. Now, like as you like to put, I am a basketball junkie, so I will be watching them. But for the average fan, there's no reason to care about the Eastern Conference side of it. Zero.
I don't know if it's that bad. You have
pretty
your underdog.
Do you know the teams that are in it? This is Washington Wizards, the Charlotte Hornets, the Indiana Pacers.
The Hornets made it.
The Hornets made it.
Jordan is back in the playoffs.
And the Boston Celtics are 500 and they are playing in it. There's just no reason to watch it. No.
I always root for Russell Westbrook.
That's fine.
I think he's just beaten up to it. They're in it, right?
They're in it. The Wizards, yep.
All right. I root for Westbrook because I don't think.
Right. And just a reminder, Nets love A. Johnson. Yes, the Nets right now, I believe they're going to be the 2 seed. So they will be playing the winner of the Celtics-Wizards game tonight. So we'll see if Alizé gets any run here in the playoffs coming up.
I like it.
We'll see.
See, I like Brad Stevens as a guy that's easy to root for too. So there's some good stories out of the East.
Yes, not really, but yes. So we'll see. Anything else? Anything else you want to know?
No, just go vote. For those of you allergy sufferers, June is coming. June is coming. This has been a rough May. But we need some more rain is what we need. We need some rain to take this pollen and just mash it down on the ground. And so hang in there for all you people that want to just scratch your face off.
All right. We'll be back. We'll have a midday show tomorrow. We'll hit some more local topics, and we'll get back to a little bit more of the news after having a little bit of fun today with Mackie.
And when in doubt, if you don't know who to write in Jeffrey Everett, Everett. Any position, he would be qualified.
That sounds like my dad's name, so he'd be thrilled to win.
Are you a junior?
I'm not a junior. We have different middle names.
Okay.
So not quite a junior.
That would be awesome. I wonder how. That's a real legal question. If Jeffrey Everett won a write-in, would it be you or your dad?
It's a good question. I guess when you write in, you don't really have to clarify. Like you're just writing.
No.
Can you?
Because if they put Jeffrey Everett, not the moron, then it would obviously be your dad.
Correct.
If they just left it blank, then it would be up in the air.
I just wonder how you would like all the write-ins for Kanye West this past presidential election.
Mm-hmm.
What if there was another Kanye West?
That is a very good question.
I don't know. How do they decipher who's actually claiming the votes?
That is a good question.
There's got to be a legal process for that we just don't know.
Or there isn't, and they just make it up as they go.
That's because it's just never mattered before.
Yes.
It's possible. Yes. All right. Thank you guys for watching the Midday Show. Thank you to Weis Markets. Go there for all your grocery needs. And thank you to NorthcentralPA.com. Be sure to go there for all your local news. The story, we talked yesterday about the Bucknell harassment. The story is out. Emma did a great job with it. So if you get a chance, go to NorthcentralPA.com and check it out. And be sure to check out all the other content we have from our great writers here at NorthcentralPA.com. And it's beautiful out. So go enjoy it. I have the doors off of the Jeep. I did my annual, took them off, drove down the highway as fast as I could, let what's left over of the dog hair fly over me. So, it's that time of the year. It's officially summer.
And after you do that, after you drive around with your doorless Jeep, go hit the Quizzo trail for the week and see if Mackie goes easier on you than he did on us, because we are obviously the big time now.
I'm Jeff Everett. He's Mark Messina. Thanks for watching the Midday Show at NorthcentralPA.com.
See you next week.